time to figure out your ad budget, right? So what should your ad budget look like? So this is going to be very simple. I have an MVB method. It's called my simple minimum viable budget method, or AKA MVB. And simply, it's $5 per ad per day. So what does that look like? Okay. So really, it's best practice, right, to launch at least 2 ad variations when you're launching your new ad campaign. So that means that 2 separate ads, you may have a different ad creative, you're testing a slightly different ad copy, short form versus long form. If you're just starting out, I prefer to start with, at least 2 audiences. But if you're more restricted on your budget, then for this example, we're going to do 2 different ad variations, right? Because you can't know what works better if you only have 1 ad. Just think of it that way. If you only have 1 ad, how do you know that you can do better or not better? So making sure that you have 2 ads. And then you have your 1 audience, right? You're starting out with your 1 audience that you're testing. So from there, if you decide to run 2 ad variations, your 1 audience, then your minimum viable budget would be $5 per ad times 2, which is $10 per day per audience. So if you're running a 30-day campaign, that would be $300, right? Let me pull out my calculator. I mean, I've calculated this so many times, but because we're on live here, I'm like, let me do the math real quick. So $5 times 2, right? We got 2 ads, times 30 days. $300. So $5 per ad per day at a minimum. Why do I recommend this? Because you need a minimum amount of dollars for Facebook to be able to understand what's going on and who to show your ads to, even within that targeted audience that you told it to show your ads to. Without that minimum amount of money, it's very difficult for Facebook to get a sense of what's working. It becomes difficult for you to also optimize your campaign. So make adjustments, right, to make it more profitable. So that's the starting point. You can obviously spend more money, but when you're starting out and you're still testing out what actually works to get you sales, you can start here.